Ladies and gentlemen, the world of professional wrestling never stops, and welcome to another ridiculous report. We got a cold reminder today that WWE is a business, and they don't care about anybody. Even without Vince McMahon, it's still the same corporate gross company that we all love because we love professional wrestling. But today, Ron Killings, R-Truth, took to social media and announced that he had been released. Now, later reports stated that his contract will be expiring soon, and WWE will not be renewing it, much like they did with Sonya Deville earlier this year. They didn't technically release her. They just let her contract expire. So that's what's going on with R-Truth. He's been with the company for the past 17 years. He had an initial stint with WWE, got let go, went to TNA, and now has been with WWE for 17 years. He's a staple of the program, and people love him. He's comedic relief to the max. He's perfect in that role. He's carved out a great role for himself, and I thought that he was going to be one of those guys that was going to be with WWE for life, but that's not going to be the case. He's gone, and there were reports today, like people backstage saying, well, I'm going to make sure that I get my next contract locked in after this, because they couldn't believe that R-Truth was released, and they also were wondering why he wasn't offered an ambassador role like Titus O'Neil. They just let him go. Like he can talk. That's his main strength now. He's a character more than a wrestler. And people saying that he can go to AEW, he can. That's not AEW's strength. Do they know what to do with characters? They seem to only know how to book great wrestling matches. So that, like, WWE and R-Truth was a perfect fit. I can't believe they wouldn't renew his contract. He's just to have him go around at events for years to come. I can't believe the decision they made there. You know, his final program wasn't with John Cena. It was against JC Mateo, and he lost in 2 minutes. That was his last match this past Friday night on SmackDown. Yes, he faced John Cena, his childhood hero, and lost to him at Saturday Night's Main Event last month. But his last match in the company was against Jeff Cobb, now known as JC Mateo, and it was a squash match. I just really lame way for R-Truth to go out. It's just unfortunate, and it's just a reminder how heartless this business is, how heartless any business is, but WWE especially, because you get to know these people, you watch them for years on end, and then they just say, all right, we're done with you. It's a shame. But R-Truth isn't the only veteran leaving the company. Carlito also announced today that WWE told him they will not be renewing his contract. It expires in 2 weeks. He joked on social media that he talked to his lawyers, and they suggested that he should give WWE back their money because of how little he does. It's a funny joke by Carlito, you know, poking fun at how little he has to do on WWE television. But that's not his fault. They signed him and then just put him in the background in the Judgment Day, which he excelled in that role. He was hilarious in the Judgment Day. I thought he was just comedic relief for that faction. I enjoyed him in that role. I don't know why. There's got to be a place for characters like that on WWE television, on wrestling. Characters like Danhausen on AEW who disappears. Like, there's got to be a place for the comedic characters here. And I just can't stand that they got rid of both R-Truth and Carlito. JD McDonough sent messages to both of them because if you remember last year, R-Truth basically tried to become a member of the Judgment Day, but none of the group liked him. It was a hilarious storyline, and he snuck into their clubhouse, and he was eating jelly rolls on their couch with powder all over his face. JD McDonough said today that he hopes to reunite with R-Truth down the line and share a tray of jelly rolls. He also noted that he was absolutely gutted that Carlito was being let go, or his contract not being renewed. It's a bummer. Vince McMahon is gone. There's a lot evil with that man that I'm glad is not with the company anymore. But the ruthlessness, the callousness, just the see you later, we don't need you anymore after years and years in the company is strange. Specifically with R-Truth. Carlito left and then came back, a couple years ago. R-Truth's been there for 17 years. That one really bothers me. They're making record gates every WWE show. It's ridiculous that they couldn't find a spot for R-Truth in their spreadsheet and decided to save money on him. There's so many people on that roster that they don't really use that would have made more sense than a guy that, again, fans have developed a connection with for 17 years. But in the end, WWE's a business that's probably making room for one of their newest signings. Mariah May reportedly is leaving AEW. She's going to be signing with WWE imminently. She had her feud with Toni Storm. That was apparently the end of her AEW career. I thought that they were going to be fighting for years to come. Nope. She's moving on. Toni Storm's now facing Mercedes Moné at All In. But Mariah May is a major loss for AEW, in my opinion. They don't have the luxury of just losing top-tier talent in the women's division. And Mercedes Moné may fancy herself the biggest star in the world, but she's drawn like no money for the company. And fans liked Mariah May, and they liked that feud with Toni Storm, but now she's gone. She always wanted to be in WWE. It's her dream. It makes sense why she wants to leave. But this has become a trend with AEW stars. They disappear from television and then eventually get taken off the roster page. It was done with Ricky Starks, now known as Ricky Saints, Malachi Black, and now Mariah May. So she's gone too. It's very disappointing for AEW. I mean, she'll be a star in WWE, but she had a chance to be like one of the faces of the promotion AEW. I don't see that in her future in WWE at all. John Laurinaitis, Johnny Ace, this asshole. Initially, he sided with Vince McMahon when Janelle Grant made her accusations of sex trafficking and all this craziness. And in those allegations, John Laurinaitis was named prominently. But he's flip-flopped again now. Started out opposing Vince McMahon, then joined his side, and now he's opposing him again to avoid any type of penalty from this. He just flipped on Vince McMahon, and he's not going to be getting any punishment from this. So congratulations to John Laurinaitis, a true dirtbag. But this story is going to go on for ages, and Vince McMahon in the middle of this is launching 14th and I, or 14th and One, a new investment firm looking for opportunities in media and entertainment. Good luck with that, man. But John Laurinaitis is just a total tool bag. But if him flipping gets Vince McMahon the punishment he deserves, whatever. But John Laurinaitis is not innocent in this at all. Evolution 2 has officially gotten a date. It will take place on July 13th. Rumored match is Jade Cargill versus Charlotte Flair. There's mixed reactions backstage to this. I didn't expect that. The mixed reactions are because the show is taking place right next to a Beyonce concert, and they're worried about ticket sales. If they have good rivalries and storylines, wrestling fans will show up. I don't know if there's much of a crossover between wrestling fans and Beyonce. There might be, but I don't think that's anything to worry about. I just hope we see female stars that are not used often, given a prominent storyline heading into this PLE in July. We'll see, but overall, just a disheartening weekend for WWE with the Carlito and R-Truth departures. Just not a lot of excitement going on right now heading into Money in the Bank on Saturday night. But that is it for this episode of The Ridiculous Report. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have not subscribed, please do so.